Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the first 3 books of the series of The City of Wishes by Rachel Morgan. Now these are only small books, so obviously it's not going to be big reviews on them, so I'm doing 3 on 3. So this is the first 3 books, and then I'll get the second 3 books later on, because I don't know how I was going to like these, so I need to get the other 3 books. Oops. So they'll be, you probably see them soon in my July TBR, my dry hole, my blue. So this is The City of Wishes. This is the first book, which is called The Memory Thief. So this is just like a little small book. That's how literally small it is. Here's the back, and that's pretty much it. So I have come to it. So this is the first book. Move this out of the way. Here. So, oh my gosh, it's such a pain in the butt. Oh, for God's sake, why does it always do this to me? Hang on. Okay, so in a world of, so every wish has a price. So this is something, when I heard that, I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Rumpelstiltskin, you know, from Once Upon a Time. Every magic comes with a price. Now this is a Cinderella retelling, but this is like more of a different fairy tale retelling. So we have Ellie, who is the one who's a human, and she is basically a human slave to the Fae, to her stepmother and her 2 stepsisters. But the twist is as well, there's a lot of twists actually in this. One of her stepsisters, Sienna, who is actually someone who is like her little sister to her, and she's not one of the evil stepsisters. She helps her out through everything. She helps her with these essence, and with this magic, this essence as well, you get a big wish. But Ellie wasn't expecting something to end, so we get to book 3 about that one. But we have Meredith and a stepmom who are basically uses men to basically get wishes from them and make themselves more better. I feel my camera's a little bit wimpy, but it's fine. So in the world of Fae, vampires and shifters, that's one thing that got me as well. Where wishes can be brought and bargained for. Ellie is a human bound to her stepmother by a slave charm. Her only hope of freedom is to wish for it, but the godmother rules the illegal wish trade, and the price she demands is so steep, is Ellie willing to pay for it? Just another night of breaking her stepmother's rules and sneaking out. Another night of joy, as little attention to herself as possible, so she pretends to be a fae with like the ears and everything, and get essence from people to get the wishes she wants. Because it seems she has magic of herself, she takes memories away. Even though she we don't know how she exactly has this power, because only the Fae has it, but she has power that could take people's memories from moments ago, which is weird. Get the job done, earn a little more essence, move one closer to the purchasing wish. But when Ellie runs face to face into a charming, handsome Fae, and then ends up in the clutches of a vampire, her usual fly under the radar plans have been knocked over. So this is a fast-paced, action-packed with interesting twists. And I mean, there was a lot of twists in there. I like that the Fae, the shifters, and the vampires, all humans, exist in a hutchery where Fae rules and humans are the lowest caste, and makes for an interesting society. It's the way they come back to, like, you can get a human slave, a human blood slave for the vampires. The Fae can get their own things. It's like really weird. So Ellie is a compelling character. She knows what she wants and what to do. She's willing to risk to get what she wants, and I like how her sarcasms in the end push her to do something more dangerous to get what she wants sooner, before things get worse. Dex and his friends are intriguing. Their true motives are hidden, but they seem to have the right ideas that society such should function. So Dex is the Fae and the Prince, which she didn't know that because Dex knocked her on the arse when she was getting in. He was heading out of the club, but something got he trapped his face because a vampire entered, and it looks like that vampire was looking for Ellie on purpose. But that is basically book 1. Moving on to book 2, which is The Vampire Trap. So Ellie and Dex contract a plan to lure the agent of vampires responsible for the recent state of human abductions, but a surprising refuge threatens to change everything. When Ellie works hard to keep the ugly truth of those who really is from Dex, it turns out Dex is keeping a secret of his own. So no one knows he's a prince or anything like that. And obviously, Ellie hasn't told anyone that she is actually basically a slave for the Fae. So this is a more tricky with the vampires, a lot more unanswered questions. I was like, oh, okay, where are we going from? How can this be answered in this book? What's going on? Like, these 3 books are read in one day. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So Ellie and Dex were closer. They did share a kiss, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. But obviously, you know, like, the prince kisses the girl, and at 12 o'clock she runs away, because she's like, I have to be back by curfew thing. Cause then he's like, who are you a slave to? And she's like, didn't even say anything to him. But the thing is that they go close, but they both hide secrets. I'm seriously wondering about Dex's curse. Now that is something I cannot wait to find out more. I love the way the dragon shifters are described. Oh, that was just Ellie's stepmother, and especially Meredith, are grating on my nerve. Like I just want to punch him in the face. Why couldn't the vampires just eat Meredith? They're trying to find Ellie to eat her because of the power she has. The party with all the races invited was an interesting look at their society as a whole, and the cliffhanger. Guys, the cliffhanger, I was like, no. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to read this book the next day. I'm reading this 3rd book now. And I mean now. Can Ellie be pushed further? Oh, she will. And it is Lynch. I literally need to get the other 3 books as quick as possible to finish this series off. Because then we go into book 3. Book 3 is The Moonlight Masquerade. And this is... Okay, this one gets intriguing. So Ellie is desperate enough to do one thing she promised herself to shed never to do. Do a bargain with the godmother for a wish. So that's what she did. Apparently to the godmother that she has met Ellie before. But Ellie doesn't have any recollection of that. And so basically she bargained with the godmother saying, look, if you let me... So the godmother was like, please let me, if you do this one thing for me, then basically I am going to let you be free. So she wants to be away, not be a slave anymore, and take Cinna with her so they can be alone and not away from this fey world, kind of. And the godmother basically asked Ella to basically kill the prince. The prince, guys. The prince that's holding the masquerade ball. But if she pays the price, it will leave her forever changed. So what makes the daring decision to lie to the godmother that she'll pretend to pay the price? I mean, so she has to find a way to pretend to kill the prince. Which is, can she get away with the godmother before the godmother finds out? The magic is exclusively profit, like, hell yeah. The interpersonal relationship grows stronger, and they grow closer. They find more stuff about each other. The romance goes up a notch. The mystery between Ellie's past grows more compelling. We might find more about what happened. And then we have, and can she get into more trouble? Well, so obviously yes. She's probably. I feel like she's gonna end up getting caught, but she runs away with the prince. And this is a fast paced, like I said, highly recommend it, guys. I really enjoyed this book. It was really, really fun to read. And to be honest, I cannot wait to get the other 3. I need to get the other 3 books to find out what happened more. But that was the first 3 books of the City of Wishes series. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the 4th book of the City of the Wishes, a Cinderella retelling series. This is book 4, The Eternal Night. So this one, so in the last book we find out that the Fey Prince, Dex and Ella, the one that's captured by Cinderella, basically, was in the middle of a kiss before Ella got swept away in the air and flew and was taken by, looks of it, vampires. So we find out that in this book, something different was happening. Let's just say this. So before I show you, I didn't say anymore. This is the cover. Yes, it's a thin book. All 3 of the so I've done book 1, 2, and 3 into one video, and I'm gonna do 4, 5, and 6 in a video as well. So that's just easier. So this is what it is. This part here is on every single book, and then this book literally just says, you find herself with some unlikely allies. Ellie prepares to face the man calling himself the Vampire King in the enchanted land of the never-ending darkness. So Dex basically goes to Ella's house to find out that her stepmother is the one who is the slave, the one that is controlling Ella for slavery. And she's like, Dex was so mad at it because he's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Sienna, the one that is basically the kind one to Ella, who Ella wants to save, comes out the window and says that she hasn't been there for a while. She escaped when she found that obviously Dex told her that she went to the ball, and Cindy was like, oh my god, she went to the ball, that's amazing, kind of situation. And we find out though, I'm gonna sneeze. That she was actually kidnapped by a vampire called Ezreal. But the thing is though, he's not the kind of vampire that we thought he was. He's not in the alliance with the Vampire King, because he was basically aligned with him because he was in love with the woman that he took. But when he found out that she, unfortunately, was lying to him this whole time, saying that she was never in love with him, she only escaped with him, pretended to escape with him to let the rest of the slaves go, and she never had planned to do anything with him. So she basically broke his heart in two when he found out this, and he was like, no, I'm not going to have this. Ow. So it was quite upsetting for him to know what was going on. Then we have the Dex. Well, Dex obviously finds her because apparently Azrael told him where that she would find Ella, and Ella was like, no, he's bad because he's been drugging me. But Dex explained to him because they put a truth spell on him, saying Dex tried to explain to Ella that the reason why he basically drugged her is because she was so much pain from the slavery mark on her leg that burns her every time, because obviously her stepmother was trying to find her because she was pissed off at her because the prince came to look for Ella, not Meredith. And Meredith wished, her sister Meredith, wished as soon as the prince sees her, he would ask her to marry her. And she's like, oh my god, yes, and all this stuff. But they did that on purpose, so they can take it away, because with Ella, she has a kind of situation where she can steal memories, even though she's a full human being, but somehow she can steal memories from other people, and they will always forget. She's been taking a lot of essence to basically buy her out of her wish. The wish that she wanted is to be free, which she does get at the end, but Ezreal seems to basically basically defines Dex and Ella, because it seems he was working with the godmother, who's an evil bitch right now. So they took him away to go away to the Vampire King. Vampire King was like, oh, it's so nice that you brought me Ella. It's so nice of you. We should have done this months ago. And basically the memory that Ella took from the previous Vampire King, I can't say his name, sorry, from the previous Vampire King, instead of stealing a memory, she killed him fully, because she didn't know her power was going on, and she was only young, and somehow Ella killed basically the previous Vampire King, and it was the father of the person who's now the king. So the godmother basically was like, oh, if you come in, once you come into this memory, you have all the memories that your father had. So he got down off his throne, and basically as soon as he got close hands to the godmother basically killed him. And holding the scepter, she went to the vampire. She's like, yeah, well, basically, I came here to kill just the Vampire King, and I'm going to keep the scepter because I'm going to control all the vampires. Because whoever holds the scepter apparently has control of the vampires and do whatever they want. So, funny enough, she was like, oh, you know what? Get rid of this body for me, cut his head off, and send it to the king, please. Who is Dex's dad, to give it as a present. I'm like, dang, alright, girl. So she purposely wanted to kill him, but she wavers another deal for Ella and basically tries to kill Dex, because we find out as well that Dex is also dying from a darkness that killed his brother. I won't get more into that detail. So she, the godmother apparently throws a poison knife that a vampire uses. Every vampire has dips their knives in poison to kill their prey better and quicker. So they won't heal because of Fae. Fae can heal from a normal wound, but because it's poisoned, it will take longer and won't heal at all. So from that, Ella had no choice but to wish for the darkness and the stab wound to be healed and never to be seen again. The godmother gave her that wish, but then she went, okay, now what we're going to bargain for. She goes, well, just tell me what you want. She's like, well, it's time for going on an adventure. Leave the prince to lay rest and let him rest well. We're like, okay, so this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to read book 5 and we're going to find out what the next book is about. So yeah, so you'll see the next clip in a minute. Enjoy. Hi guys. Well, this is book 5 of the City of the Witches, the Cinderella retelling. This is the Starlight Quest. And this one was quite interesting. So we have the cover, which is beautiful, I might add. Right, then I showed you in the last video. This is what it romance. And this is our little thing about the quote. After finally receiving the one thing she's wanted for so many years, Ella sets out to pay the price demanded by the godmother. She will travel through the Netherwoods and complete a quest that will, if the godmother's shocking story is believed, change her life and possibly the world. So, the story is that we go through is that Ella finds out that her and the prince actually want to do each other, but didn't realise what it was. So, poor Ella's mother, basically what happened was she was friends with Liana, and Liana went into the archives and kind of find a secret that should have never been told. And that secret was that humans did have magic. And right now you can see that the human slaves are slaves with no magic. So Liana told Ella's mother, her mum told her father, and then it continued on and everyone basically learned about it. And then the vampire king heard about it and was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to kidnap humans to steal their magic from them so the vampires can be stronger. So the godmother was like, well, you didn't specifically ask me if I knew them, because obviously where Ella and Dex showed them this picture, showed the godmother the picture, she's like, well, what is this? She's like, don't know, I've never seen it before. But she seems to lie about everything a lot. So Ella just agrees to go on a quest to the Netherwoods to basically get herself some magic. But it's very weird where she finds out also that her mother wished for the godmother to arrive, to ask her if she could wish somehow to erase the memories of this war that's about to be begun. And she said it would cost you your daughter will be the one to do it. So she first, Ella's mother was quite like, no, I don't want her to have this. If this never happened, Ella would not be in the way she is. She would be just kicked out of the house, but then she would never pretty much met the have a life she's in, you know. So Liana got kidnapped by the vampire king and told him about the king, and then obviously killed her pretty much. So obviously where the spell went wrong, and Ella killed the previous king, Ella's father and mother tried to basically hid her, but we don't know how they hid her from this magic and from the vampires and from the whole world. So from that we find, obviously we're given that it's just a whole load of bunch of stuff going from left and right. And so they go for the Netherwood. So the vampire king, the one that's king now, basically he would kidnap humans to go into the forest. But what they didn't know is the humans can't do them by themselves. They can't be alone. They must have a werewolf, a shifter, you know, and a fairy, a shifter, a fae, and a vampire. To go through these quests. So each task they go through, each of these items will help them. So each of these creatures will help them. I'm not going to tell you about their quests because they were quite confusing at the times. But then they meet a unicorn girl. It tells her, they're like, oh, I never knew there was a unicorn that's available. And this girl, the unicorn girl, was like, this is what I do now. This is my life, because not many people know that this can happen. So I am here to do this. So she tells them that to basically go into the boat, go to the middle of the lake, reach for a star, and then break the glass. That's what she got told. But Ella has to do this by herself because her friends are falling asleep. They cannot help her because they already helped her through the situations getting to the last and final stage. She realises the boat's not moving, so she had to move the boat to herself to go and grab her friends, carry them into the boat, grab the star, pour the magic over herself, which she did, which now she has magic. Her friends wake up like, oh god, you're glowing, you're magic, wow. Then they had to jump into the river, but with the lake was going down because the water is like a mirror, because you can see through it. So they go into it and then they return back to the godmother. The godmother basically was like, that's your deal done, nothing to it, handshake on it. But there was kind of like electric shock to her when their hand shook. So I'm guessing the final book is going to be something interesting. With Ella having magic, the godmother has decided, I think she's got something on her hand. I feel like she might have stolen some of Ella's magic, so she could be a bit more powerful. Or something's going to turn bad. I don't know. But I cannot wait to read the last final book of this series. I have really enjoyed this book as well, this series. I cannot wait to see what other books Rachel has came across on. If there's any other books that I'm quite intrigued by, because I came upon this on Amazon and I got the whole set. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the book 6. Remember, book 4, 5, and 6 are going to be together into one video. Same with book 1, 2, and 3. So see you guys for book number 6. Bye. You guys, that was an awful intro. But we're on the last book, the last series for Rachel Morgan's City of the Wishes, a Cinderella retelling. This is the Ever After Wish. I actually liked the way this book ended because it was very different. But this is all we got to know of. Armed with the knowledge that can change everything for humankind, Ella must confront the king. But it's the godmothers now who pose the greatest threat. Can Ella and Dex stop her from taking control of the kingdom? Is what we thought. They make her sound so bad, but in the end, she wasn't. Like, literally, well, for the things that she did, yes. So in this, she has now magic, right? So Dex goes to her for his father and goes, look, I have fallen in love with her. She's a human, but she has magic. And he's like, the king was like, and his dad was like, absolutely not. I don't care who she is. She's going to be thrown in jail. So thrown in prison, down in the kingdom's lair. She sees this person, hears the voice, goes, I know that voice, I recognise that voice for when she was younger, and that the name is Liana, who we thought was dead. Mind-blowing, hello, spoilers alert. But from that situation, we find out, she was like, wait, how do you know who I am? I'm like, you're the one, like, explain how she knows who Liana is. And she was like, Ella, is that you? She's like, yes, and I have magic. And then there's other 2 people as well that has helped them through the past. She lets them go because of magic. She has the magic. And we find out that there was going to be a massive war because, fair enough, the king was going to go along because, well, they were having another ball because they wanted another to find the correct woman who would marry Dex. But Dex only wanted to marry Ella because she was different, she was lovely, she was something that trusted, and that will follow through on the godmother's terms, by the way. So godmother was coming along with the of the line of the vampire that she was controlling with the scepter, to find out that she was about to help Alexander, because Alexander was bitten by a wolf and he was going to be shifting. So his family didn't want to do anything to do with him, so he basically left and went. And even though he understands that they are happy to be family with everyone, his family disapproves and they don't want to see him, so he's embarrassed by that, but very upset. So even from that situation, there's a little fairy that comes in, that Tash comes in. So the little fairy that was with godmother for the very first time, when they were trying to find Ella. Tash tells Ella that the godmother is looking for her and is usually in the North Tower. So she goes there, everything's kind of frozen. So she goes in there and she goes, what's going on? You've told me all these lies and more lies again. She goes, no, to be honest, I just want a happily ever after, and it's nice to have one as well. She was like, what's the catch? She's like, there's no catch. I just basically She basically goes through the truth. She goes before, so Dex's mum wished for godmother to find the girl that will basically will marry Dex. So she gave him the masquerade ball, but no one would fit the terms. So because they would do a test on them and they would fail each time. And we find out that the test to Ella was to kill the prince, kill Dex, but she didn't because she has so much love for him. And we find out that Dex even had like a test to find out if she was really the one. Would he go after her? He went for every quest with her as much as possible. He was with her in every single way, pretty much. And it was beautiful. I loved it. And she finds out that she goes, like, the godmother hands her over the scepter for the vampires, runs out, like, trying to get into the middle of the coast where the people are about to fight. She holds the scepter up and she goes, hey, you guys, like, excuse me, hello. See, vampires look around because obviously she's holding the scepter that controls the vampires. Then it was all the fays, and then they were in the king's inn, and she goes, the godmother's now gone. I have the scepter. This is the scepter that the godmother was using to control the vampires, and she killed the vampire king, blah, 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 blah. I am now going to set you guys free. So she smashes the gem on the bottom of the top bit of the scepter, and the vampires are now free. And then she goes, and you know what? I am human, and I also have magic. But before the big fight as well, guys, just so you know, she also erased memories in the king's memories as well, about the whole thing with her, with his mum. So Dex's great grandmother, what happened to her on a masquerade ball one day. So that's all gone through, and godmother's now out of the picture. She's now living happily ever after. And you're going, what about her sister Sienna? Well, she gets a letter from her sister, letting her know, saying congratulations to getting married, or getting married. You're human, you have magic, you're free. She goes, I'm free as well, I'm happy. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a story about Sienna, because I want to know what the area she came from, because we don't know how else. And with Ella as well, she has been getting a lot of letters from people, like humans, saying thank you for making us have magic again. Human slavery is no more, and everyone can live happily in peace. It's amazing, and to be able to get through all this. This series was quite interesting. I really did like this, and again, can't wait to see what other this author has books of, because I have not found out anything. I don't go through each book until I do. Now, where's my little book? I want to make sure I definitely write these down, because sometimes I don't. Yes, I wrote her name down. So I'm writing, obviously, write all down the author's names. Then when I go through, instead of me going through each book, because I'm trying to watch each episode, I'll go through each book, and then obviously I'll be able to, if I like the book, I'll write the author's down name. So then when it gets to the end of the year, I'll go through each author to find out what book I'll be getting for the next. That will be my main thing. I'll let you guys know as well. But that is the whole series, 4, 5 and 6. I hope you guys enjoyed the series, because I certainly did. If you had read it, let me know on what your thoughts were on it, and I'll see you guys next time for the next book. Bye!